Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I will go through 2022 exams paper. Of course, there's a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First of all, we need to know that N is the number of bacteria, whereas T is the time in hours. So keep that in mind. So the question is, what is the initial number of bacteria in the experiment? So that means initial means when T is 0. So when T is equal to 0, that means we need to find N of 0. So that will give me 200 e to the 0.013 times 0 is equal to 0 anyway. So e to the power of 0. But we know that e to the power of 0 is 1. So 200 times 1 is 200. So there you go. So therefore 200 bacteria. Part B. So what is the number of bacteria 24 hours after starting the experiment? So in another word, when T is equal to 24. So T is 24. So in another word, N of 24. So that will give me 200 e to the 0.013 we times 24. So now what I do, I just put on a calculator. So I just go 200 e to the 0.013 we times 24. So there you go. But because we're talking about number of bacteria, so we just round off to whole number. So 273. So 273. So 273 bacteria. Part C. So we need to find the rates. That is when time is equal to 24. So first of all, we need to differentiate the function first. So that is N of T is equal to 200 e to the 0.013 T. So we differentiate that. So N dash T is equal to, so we differentiate this. It gives me 0.013 times the function. So that is 0.013 times 200 e to the 0.013 T. So now just put on a calculator. So I just go 0.013 times 200. So 2.6. So the answer is equal to 2.6 e to the 0.013 T. Now at T equal 24, so I just go, the rate of this is 2.6 e to the 0.013 times 24. So that equal to, I just put on the calculator. So just go answer times e 0.013 with times 24. So there you go, 3.55 bacteria per hours. There you go. Next one. So there are two options. So the first options is depositing single amount, that is 40,000 with the interest of 1.2% per annum, and it compound quarterly. So keep that in mind. And option 2 is at least deposit 1,000 at the end of every quarter. Okay, remember, and the interest rate is 2.4% per annum, and the interest is compound quarterly. So let's have a look at first questions. What is the value of early investment after 10 years using option 1? So we know that option 1 is future value is equal to, because it's compound interest, so present value 1 plus R power of n. And the R is 1.2%. And don't forget, it's per annum. And the interest is compound monthly. So we need to divide by 12. So that will give me, so 1.2 divided by 12, 0.1%. And the N, because it's compounded monthly, so therefore for 10 years, so 12 times 10, so 120. So that will give me, so the present value is 40,000. 1 plus 0.1% means 0.1 over 100, power of 120. So now that give me, so 40,000 times bracket 1 plus answer over 100. Because answer is 0.1, keep that in mind. And then power of 120. So there you go. $45,097.17. Because with money, we round up to 2 decimal places. So 45097, 45097 and 17 cents. So there you go. Now, part B. What is the difference between the future value after 10 years using option 1 and option 2? So we already found the future value for option 1. So we need to work out the future value for option 2. So option 2, so the future value for option 2 is the annuity of $1. So for 2.4% per annum, so we need to work out 2.4%. We divide this by 4 because it's compounded quarterly. So I just put on the calculator. So just go 2.4 divided by 4. So 0.6. So 0.6%. And for N, because it's 10 years, so 4 quarters in a year, we times by 10. So that give me 40. So what I do, I just need to look at the table. So for 0.6% and for 40 years, so that's the answer. So let me just write this down. So that is an annuity of $1 will give me $45 and 0.563. Okay, so keep that in mind. So now the annuity for Aries is $1,000, okay, at the end of each quarter. So that means 1,000. So from here to here, we times by 1,000. So therefore, this also need to times by 1,000. So what I do, I just move the 0. 1, 2, 3. So the money will equal to 45056.30 cents. So there you go. That is the future value for option 2. Okay. So we need to find the difference. Okay. So therefore, what we can do is we just go. The option 1 is more than option 2, right? So which is your option 1? That is 45097.17 we minus $45,056.30. That will give me, so I put down the calculator. So I just go 45097.17 and we minus 45056.30. So there you go, $40.87. So you got therefore there you go. Next one. So we need to find the global minimum and global maximum value for this function here. So the global minimum and global maximum is this. So we have a graph here. So it could be something like that. Okay. So could be the minimum is here, or could be in here is the maximum, or could be in here or here. Okay. We just need to find the maximum value of y and the minimum values of y, if you like. So to do this, what we need to do, we need to find the endpoints first. Okay. The maximum could be on the endpoint or the minimum on the endpoint, or it could be on the turning point. So we need to find the values of those. Okay. So what we do, we need to find these values here. So keep that in mind. So this is endpoint. Okay. So we just find that first. So to find the endpoint, so when x is -1, so this means that y is equal to -1 power of 3 and then we minus 6, lots of -1 square, and then we add 8. So there you go. So what we have is we have -1 minus 6 plus 8. So that will give me 1. And don't forget, this graph here is not for this, okay? I'm just draw it to explain it to you, what we need to find out, okay? That's all it is, okay? So let me just clear this so you don't confuse yourself. So now the next one is we need to find another endpoint, that is when x is 7. So when x is 7, so y will give me 7 to the power of 3. We minus 6 lots of 7 square plus 8. That will give me, I just put on a calculator. So just go 7 cube, and then we minus 6 times 49, because 7 squares is 49, okay? We add 8. So there you go, 57. So y is 57. Now we need to find the turning point, okay? Remember, the graph could go like this, okay? At the moment, y equal 1, when x is -1, it could go like that, okay? And we need to find this. So keep that in mind, okay? So now we need to find a turning point first. So we know that y is x to the power of 3 minus 6x squared plus 8. We just differentiate this first. So y dash is equal to 3x squared minus 12x. Now, when y dash is 0, to find a stationary point, so y dash equals 0. So this means that 3x squared minus 12x is 0. So let me just work on this side. So this means that I take the 3x out because 3x is a common factor. So that gives me x minus 12 divided by 3 is 4. And x cancel out. So that's the answer here. So therefore, x is equal to 0 or x equal 4 at the stationary point. Okay, so what we need to do is we just need to find the y value for this. So when x is 0, y is equal to, so 0 minus 6 lots of 0 squared is still 0 plus 8. So that is 8. And then when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4 power 3 minus 6 lots of 4 squared, and then plus 8. So now I just put on a calculator. So we have 4 cubed minus 6 times 4 square, we add 8. So that means -24. So there you go. So therefore, the global minimum is -24. And the maximum is this. So let me just write this down. So therefore, equal -24. So there you go. Next one. So first of all, we need to understand D is for the depth of the water, okay, in meters. And T is the time in hours. So keep that in mind. So the question is, find the depth of the water at low tide and high tide. So if you think about it, okay, we have a graph. It's like this. So cos, so that means, and it's negative, so we start from here like this, okay? Keep that in mind. And this is negative 0.6. And this is 0.6. So keep that in mind, okay? But then we will plus 1.3 on top. So we start from negative 0.6. We move 1.3 up. So in another word, the center of the graph here, it moved here somewhere, okay? So let me just quickly draw a graph that represents this. So at 1.3 it's like that somewhere, just roughly, okay? So let me just redo this on here. So this is 1.3 if you like, and you don't have to sketch it, but I just want to explain it to you. So that is the graph go like this. So there you go, okay? So we can find the maximum and minimum. So we start from negative 0.6, we add 1.3. So I just put on a calculator. So I just go 1.3, we minus 0.6. So that is the low tide, okay, minimum value. So 0.7 in here. So therefore, the low tide is equal to 0.7 meters. And high tide is we have 0.6. We add 1.3. So it should be 1.9. So high tide. So 1.9 meters. So there you go. Part B. What is the time interval in hours between two successive low tide? In another word, we need to find the period of it. So we know that period is 2 pi over n. And n is 4 pi over 25. So we just divide by 4 pi over 25. So let me just write here. So that is 2 pi divided by 4 pi over 25 is exactly the same as time by 25 over 4 pi. So I just simplify this, okay? That divided by that, and that cancel, that give me 2. So 25 divided by 2. So this is period is 25 over 2 is 12.5. And the times is in hours. So there you go, 12.5 hours. Part C. For how long between two successive low tides will be the depth of the water be at least 1 meter? So this means that D must be greater than 1 meter, greater than 1, okay? So let me just make it into 1 first because I need to find the distance. So this is just like that, somewhere there, okay? So have to be above this. So this part here, okay? So we need to find the times interval, if you like. So let me just make D equal 1 first. So in another word, 1 is equal 1.3 minus 0.6 cos of 4 pi over 25t. So now to solve this, so what I do, I move this on this side, I move this on that side. So this means that 0.6 cos of 4 pi over 25 t is equal to 1.3 minus 1 is 0.3. And we divide by 0.6 on both sides. So this means that cos of 4 pi over 25t is equal to a half, if you like, 0.5. But we know that cos is positive. So therefore, it must be in the first and the fourth quadrant. And if we inverse cos of a half is equal to 60 degrees. But because we're dealing with time, have to be in radian, okay? So 60 degrees is pi over 3, if you like. So pi over 3. And this angle here is pi over 3. So 4 pi over 25t is equal to the first answer is pi over 3. Or from here to here, so 2 pi minus pi over 3 is 5 pi over 3. So if I divide by pi on both sides, so that give me 1, that give me 1. So 1 times 5 is 5, okay? So now what I do, I just go t is equal to 1/3 times 25 and divide by 4. And 5 over 3 times 25 over 4. So let me just write this on here, okay? So therefore, t is equal to, so just put on a calculator, 25 divided by 4 times 3 is 12. So press the DMS button, 2 hours and 5 minutes. And 5 minutes. And the other one is, so just go 5 times 25 is 125 divided by 12. And press the DMS button, 10 hours and 25 minutes. So 10 hours and 25 minutes. So that is the time interval. So in another word, so this one here is 2 hours and 5 minutes. That's where we start. And then we end here is 10 hours and 25 minutes. So therefore, the times interval is, we just minus it, okay? So we just go, therefore, time is, so I just go 10 hours and 25 minutes. We minus 2 hours and 5 minutes. 8 hours and 20 minutes. So 8 hours and 20 minutes. So there you go. Question 24. So we need to describe and interpret the data and other informations provided with reference to the context given. So by looking at this, so first of all, if you have a look at the lines of best fit here, okay, this line here, so you can say something about the gradient. So we can see if you look at this gradient here, it's almost 2, right? So rise is 2 because it go up by 2. See, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and so on. So it got by 2. And this one here, the run is 1 because it's 16, 17, 18. So you can say something about this, like for average age of the character increase, the age of the actor increased by 2 years. Okay, keep that in mind. So you can mention something like that. And then you can mention about the youngest age of the character is being placed by the youngest age of the actor, if you like. And we can say something about this. You can mention the correlations. The correlation of this is 0.4564. You can describe this as positive, moderate, or positive, weak correlations, okay, between the age of the actors and the age of the character. So you can mention about the range. So the range of the age of the character is from 14 to 70 years of age, okay, for the character. And the range for the age of the actor is 14 years of age to 30 years of age. So there is quite a big range compared to the age of the character. So this means that the age of the actors doesn't have to be matched with the age of the characters, okay? Keep that in mind. So you can mention something about that. Or you can mention about this group. So you can mention a lot of characters in the age of 15. So these are some of the sample answer for you, okay? So keep that in mind. Question 25. So we need to find the value of x that will give us f dash x is -3 and f double dash x is 2. So to work it out, first of all, we need to find the differentiations of the function first. So f dash x is equal to, so we differentiate the angle, give me 2, so which is 2 times, and differentiate sine, give you cos. So cos of 2x. And we know that f dash x is -√3. So we just go -√3 is equal to 2 cos of 2x. And if I divide by 2 on both sides, so -√3 over 2 is cos of 2x. And we know that for cos negative will be in this quadrant, that quadrant. If I go inverse cos of √3 over 2, it gives me pi over 6. Okay, 30 degrees is pi over 6 because we deal with radians. So this is pi over 6. This is pi over 6. But then x is between 0 to pi. And we have 2 cos of 2x. So we need to change the domain. So that is 0, 2x, and then 2 pi. So therefore, the answer is, the first answer is here. So 2x is equal to, so 1 pi minus pi over 6 is 5 pi over 6. And then 1 plus 1, 6 is same as 1 plus 6 is 7 pi over 6. So that is this answer here. So now I just divide both sides by 2. So that give me x is equal to 5 pi over 12, 7 pi over 12. But then remember, it can be this or this because we have to have f double dash x is equal to 2 as well. So what we can do, we can find a second derivative and then we either substitute this into f double dash 5 pi over 12 and we find f double dash 7 pi over 12 and one of them should give us this. But rather than do this, I can just make f double dash equal to 2 and I solve it and I'm just looking for the common answer. Okay, so let me just work it on this side. So f dash x, let me just copy this out first. We know that it's 2 cos of 2x. So f double dash x will give me So differentiate the angle here, give me 2. So I times by 2, give me 4. So 4, and differentiate cos, give me negative sine. I put in front sine of 2x. So there you go. F double dash x is 2, negative 4 sine of 2x is equal to 2. So I divided by negative 4 on both sides. Sine of 2x is equal to negative a half. So negative half for sine will be this quadrant, that quadrant. Okay, and then inverse sine a half will give me pi over 6. So this is pi over 6, and this is pi over 6. So therefore, we have 2x will give me, that's the first answer. So that means 1 pi plus pi over 6 is 7 pi over 6. And then we have 2 pi, we minus pi over 6. So 12 minus 1 is 11. So 11 pi over 6. And I divide by 2 on both sides. So x is equal to 7 pi over 12, 11 pi over 12. So therefore, we have common answer here. So therefore, the answer is, so therefore, x is 7 pi over 12. So there you go. Question 26. So first of all, we know that the mean is 840. So let me just make note on this, okay? So the mean is 840 hours. And then the standard deviations is 80. So let me just try SD will do, is 80 hours. And we know that approximately 60% of the battery have a lifespan less than 860 hours. So 860 hours, so the easiest way is we need to convert that into z-score first so we can interpret easier. So let me just work out z-score for this, okay? So z of that, we know the rule is z is equal to x minus x bar, the mean, over SD. So that for 860 hours, so the z-score will give me this, 840, and then we divide it by 80. So that will give me, so I just go 860, we minus 840. So give me 20, and I divide it by 80. So give me 0.25. So there you go, equals 0.25. So in another word, we have a normal distribution here. So less than 0.25 is 60%. So this means that this part here must be 40%. Okay, so keep that in mind. So 40% is above 0.25, okay, for the z-score. Let me read a bit further. What is the approximate percentage of the battery lifespan between 820 and 920? So we need to convert that into z-score first, okay? So we have z2, this is z1 if you like, so which is 820, we minus 840. We divide this by 80. So that will give me, so just go 820 minus 840, and then we divide it by 80. So negative 0.25. So that means this is negative 0.25 here. And then the next z-score, which is z3, is equal to 920, the x-score minus the mean, 840, then we divide it by 80. That will give me, so I just go 920 minus 840, and we divide it by 80. So that is 1. So this means that between this and 1 here, okay, so we need to find this answer. So first of all, to work this out, so we know that from negative 1 to 1, keep that in mind, is 68% from the data sets, okay? So keep that in mind. So then what we need to do is, let me just work out this first. So we know that this part here is 40%. So therefore, this part here also 40%. And don't forget, the whole lot here is 60%. So therefore, in between here, this part here must be 60 minus 40%. So that is 20%. So keep that in mind. So this is 20%. So a lot of things happening here. So now to work this out, the questions is we need to work out between 1 and negative 0.25. So this is the answer. Let me just redraw the normal distribution diagram, okay, to explain to you, to make it a bit clearer. So first of all, we know that from negative 0.25 to 0.25 is 20%, okay? And from negative 1 to 1 is 68%. So keep that in mind, okay? 68% is from the data set. So to work out one of these, so what we do, 68, okay, minus 20%, and then we divide by 2, okay? Because two of them, one of them for the right hand side and one for this, okay? So that answer here is 24%. So there you go. So now we need to find this area here. So from negative 0.25 to 1. So negative 0.25 to 1. That's what we're after. So therefore, we just go, therefore, 20%, and we add 24%. So that would give me 44%. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.